Just because you encounter some challenges, and just because someone, people may come against you or talk about you, say negative things about you, that's one indication. That's one indication that you might be in the right place. So don't worry about that. You stay connected and you stay focused. You stay in your place where you're supposed to serve, because that's what you were created for, and can't nobody take it from you. Don't believe that lie. Can't nobody take it for you. If God gave it to you, that's what you're supposed to have and where you're supposed to be. I want to talk to you and encourage you about something that's so important and that is relative to all of us. And that is your purpose. You are positioned for your purpose. Excuse me, or you're being positioned for your purpose. And that's something that we should all know and be aware of and have in the forefront of our minds. I'm starting out with a passage of scripture that I have been meditating on or have been studying for several years. And every time I read it, I get something new out of it. I get something, God gives me more revelation or insight in how to use it and apply it in my life. And that's Isaiah 54. And in that passage, the prophet is talking to a group of people who are God's people who have been in a bad situation. They have been taken away from their homeland. They have been taken into captivity. But he sent this prophet to encourage them, to let them know that everything that they had gone through had been for a reason and for a purpose. And he was getting ready to position them and put them in a better place, restore them and give them a better life. And that same message is for you. Everything that you have been through or what you're going through is positioning you for your purpose. You are here right now for a reason. You were created and living in this day and time for a reason and a purpose. So I want to talk to you about that position for your purpose. And I want you to share this live, share this video, because we want to encourage and we want to share some tools and some strategies so that we can be able to make it to that destination and be able to do what we were created to do. So I want you to share, please share. And so we're going to jump right into talking about position for your purpose. As I was stating, this topic is based upon biblical principles. And this passage that I was studying about in Isaiah 54, and this is that last verse is a familiar passage to a lot of people. A lot of people quote it: "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue you shall condemn, because you are the righteousness of God." And everything that you have gone through or I have gone through or gone through, it is for a purpose. Your beginning or where you are right now is not your end. It's all a part of the process. You may have started out in a broken home, but it doesn't have to be your end. It doesn't have to be where you end up. You may have started out as a victim of molestation. It doesn't have to be your end. You may have started out as in a bad relationship, one bad relationship after another, but it doesn't have to be your end. It doesn't have to end that way. You may have started out as an underdog. People may have counted you out, but it doesn't have to end that way. You may have started out poor, didn't have much money, financial instability, but listen, it does not have to end that way. You may have started out addicted to drugs or a substance user or a substance abuser. It doesn't have to end that way. All of those things, all of those situations, they may not be where you want to be, and they shouldn't be where you want to be. But these things can be used and will be used to position you for your purpose to what you are called to do. So don't bemoan, or don't complain or moan about where you started or about where you are. Don't complain about where you are, but get some joy, because your perspective has to change. Get some joy. Begin to think big and make room to receive abundance. That's what the prophet came to encourage the people. He said, I want you to enlarge your tents, stretch out your tents, make room, because you're getting ready to break forth on the left and the right. You're going to break out. And so I want to tell you the thing that you have to do in the midst of what you're going through and what you're experiencing. You have to be alert. You have to be aware. And you have to, in the midst of it, develop your spiritual ear so that you can hear and receive your instruction to where you are going. Sometimes what we're going through and the situation we're facing, we get so focused on the situation, and we get so focused on our emotions and what we're going through and what we're feeling. And we lose sight of the bigger picture. We lose sight of the bigger picture. So these things come to take you. These things and these situations are vehicles to take you and to position you and prepare you and align you for the work or the purpose that you have to do and what you were created for. Now, that word position means to put in a certain place, or put in the right place, or put in a particular place, or put in a certain way. Position means to arrange. And so we have to be positioned or arranged and put in the right place, because sometimes we make decisions ourselves that may take us out of alignment of what we're supposed to do and who we are, who we really are. So we have to be repositioned or realigned and put in the right place. You may need to be repositioned or positioned mentally. Your thinking. How do you think? Do you think the right way? Do you understand the assignment? And do you have the right perspective of who you are and why you're here? So your thinking may have to be realigned or positioned so that it can be aligned with your purpose. You may need to be positioned spiritually. What is it that you believe? What you believe may need to be adjusted. You may need to be positioned financially, because you may not need to be where you should be financially, because what you are purposed for, what you were created for, requires you to know how to manage money, to know how to use money as a tool. You may need to be repositioned or positioned in the right relationships, because maybe you've been connecting yourself with the wrong people, and that needs to be aligned, and you need to be positioned with the right people and connected and networking with the right people and in the right relationships, so that you can be able to walk effectively in your purpose. You may need to be positioned in the right work or career. A lot of times, we're allowed to choose what we want to do. And sometimes, that's not exactly the right, you're not in the right place, in the right career. We might get in it because, if I become a nurse, I can make a lot of money. Or if I become a CEO of a corporation, I can make a lot of money. Or if I live in this city or in this neighborhood, it will cause me to have a good reputation, or feel powerful or influential, or people will really think that I'm somebody. So sometimes we get into things and make decisions based upon our own agenda, and not really for the purpose that we were created. So you have to be positioned in that way, or realigned in that way. You may need to be positioned or repositioned or aligned in your character. Your character may be off. Do you care about other people? Do you have integrity? Do you have godly ethics? Or do you have good morals? Sometimes we have to be positioned in our character with the right character, so that when we are in reception or in place to receive these resources, we can be an effective and a good steward, and can be trusted to handle these things. So when you have to be realigned in your character or positioned in your character, you may have to learn how to manage your emotions. Sometimes we go through things to so that we can learn how not to be so quick to get angry, or be so quick to say things with our mouths, or watch our attitudes. You may have to learn how not to cheat to get ahead, or step over other people to get ahead. You may have to learn to be considerate and to have empathy for other people and to be fair to others. All of these things are ways in which we have to be positioned for our purpose. And we may not see it, we may not see trouble, or we may not see challenges or situations as tools to position us, but these things are vehicles and avenues to help us be aligned for what it is that we're created to do. So what do we mean we say purpose? Purpose is the reason for which something is created or something is done. The reason why you exist. It's important to know why we are here. We are not here just to take up space on the earth. We are not here just to be in existence. But there is something unique about you, something that you have that nobody else can do, something that you have to offer that needs to be shared, with others, need to be shared with the world. And with the world, it may just be the area around you where you exist, or it may be throughout the world, literally. And the number of years you have been here on this earth, there is a reason why you are here. And so it is so important that we are aware of that every day. That every day when we get up, we spend time with the Creator. We spend time with God to get our instructions for that day. A lot of times we get bogged down in saying, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Well, take one day at a time. Get up that particular day and get your instructions for that day and do what you're supposed to do that day. And if you get up every day doing what you're supposed to do that day, you'll be walking in your purpose. Our first and foremost purpose is to give back to God what he gave us, and that is our lives, our gifts, and our abilities. Use it for what he wants us to do, and you will find yourself walking in those things. Many times what we have experienced or walked through in life will lead us into the work that we were created to do on this earth. I like to say, when I was growing up, in school, they taught us to go to school, get a degree, get an education so that you can get a job. But at one point in my life, I started asking God, show me what work you want me to do. Show me what work you want me to do. And when you show me what work you want me to do, then guide me into how to do that. And ever since then, I've been making my decisions based on that. And you have to be confident in who God is and who you are in order to do that, because if you let them, people will push you into what they think you should be doing. People will give you ideas as to what will give their opinion as to what you're supposed to be doing. But it is our responsibility to find out what we are supposed to be doing, what we are created for, and then realize that everything that happens in your life is working for you. It may not feel good, it may not look good, it may not be good, it may cause you some hurt, it may cause pain, it may cause you to be uncomfortable, but it's going to groom you for who you were created to be. And so that's why in my career or in my work, I have met people who were once addicts. They are now counselors. I've met people who grew up in foster care, and that motivated them to become family attorneys, or to begin to adopt children, foster children. Or a man who grew up without his father, that motivated him and pushed him into mentoring boys and creating a nonprofit to mentor boys and help boys develop and become great men. Or an individual who wants to help people learn and to become become better may motivate them or lead them into a path to become a teacher or a pastor or a motivational speaker. Or a person who grew up in poor and didn't have much money, this motivated them and led them into the path of becoming a financial advisor or philanthropist or investor. Or a person who grew up trying to get attention or looking for outlets to, or mentally emotional outlets to their problems or situations. This can motivate them to become a musician, a writer, a producer, or even athletes. Sometimes people get involved in sports because it gives them an outlet, give them something to do. And these things, or a comedian, a way to be an outlet to give them some joy or to bring happiness. So a lot of these things cause us or will lead us into our purpose, what it is that we were created to do. Sometimes the experiences lead you right into your purpose. So that's why we are not to despise the things or be regretful about the things that we've gone through or happened, or mistakes that we made. Some things we feel like, oh, this was a terrible time of my life, a terrible mistake, and it probably was. But how can you use it? What can you learn from it? It happened in your life, and God allowed it to happen in your life. He could have stopped it, but why did he allow it to happen? I hear Joyce Myers talk a lot about the years that she was molested by her father. But those terrible times, it helped build. She uses those things that happened to her to build her ministry and be a help to women. And so we have to realize that, every situation, experience, circumstance is used to position us for our purpose. And that's why we should learn to appreciate what we went through, learn to appreciate our experiences, learn to appreciate those things, because they were our training. They were our training academy. They were our school, our education. A lot of my understanding and insight and wisdom came from my experiences. And I would say, God, did I just have to go through that? Why couldn't you, I could have read it and learned it in a book. But some things to train you and develop you and to build you, you're going to get it through life experiences, and they are unavoidable. There are some things that we all across the board are going to experience in life: birth, death, grief, loss. Those are some things that that we're going to experience across the board, because those things are a part of life. Sickness, those things are a part of life. But there are some individual things that we don't have to experience, and that depends on, sometimes God will allow us to go through those things. Sometimes it's because of decisions that we make. We refuse to listen. And so those experiences or situations, they teach us things, and they give us life lessons that we can take to build our platforms and to build the things that God has caused us to do. And so those experiences are our training academy. Those experiences are the things that are used to develop us. They can expand you and stretch you. And they taught you how to make room and receive what was prepared just for you. They teach you to be patient. They help you develop your mind for greatness. They help you to acquire knowledge and skills that you didn't know that you have. Have you ever gone through something, been put in a situation or in a circumstance where you didn't know what to do, and then you just became more open? You became open. That situation made you become open, and then you learned things about yourself that you didn't know. It's hands-on learning. And some things in life, it's going to be hands-on learning. It's going to be unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. You're going to be trained. You're going to be taught. I think about so many times about Joseph. I think about David. I even think about myself. There are some things that I was shown that I was going to do 20 years ago, but I didn't start off doing it right away because I wasn't mentally prepared for it. I wasn't financially prepared for those things, and I needed to be educated and taught. So over the past 20 years, there's some things that I have gone through that have developed my character, developed me in my emotions. I've learned to be patient, not to be hot-headed, not to be so quick to open my mouth and speak and say things, because where God is taking me, I'm going to have to learn how to control my mouth, learn how to control my emotions, because you can't make decisions upset. And you got to learn how to remain calm in certain situations. Experiences are great teachers. Experiences will teach you and develop you and help you to be better. And this is what it's all about. It's all about developing you and getting you ready to receive and position you to do what you have been created to do. I want to say that there's a transition and a change taking place in this world, taking place right now. And I want to say all of those of us who are aware, who are alert, who will allow God to prepare us and allow him to position us. When that thing comes, we're going to be prepared and ready. We're going to be ready and positioned to carry out his plan. But you got to pay attention to what's going on. We're going to have to get to the point where, and I say this and I'm saying this, that if you're totally dependent on the government, you better position yourself, allow God to position you where you're not dependent on the government. You better allow God to position you where you can be financially independent. You better allow yourself to be positioned financially, mentally, and in character, and in a position of leadership. And I don't necessarily mean that it may be leadership in your home, but how you manage and how you steward what you have. You better allow him to position you in your body. Get yourself in good physical condition. Get yourself in shape. Get your health in line. Get your finances in line. Get your relationships in line, because it's going to be so important who you connected to, who you are dealing with. It's going to be so important of how you think. What's your perspective? What comes out of your mouth? It's going to be so important how you allow yourself to be groomed and to be positioned in the future, in these days that's coming up, and it's not long. So I hear a lot of other leaders saying it too, and I believe it. It is true, because it has been given to me that you better allow yourself to be positioned. You better allow yourself to be groomed. You better allow yourself to be prepared. Get yourself together. Get yourself where you're supposed to be, so that when the resources come, so that when it is released, you will be prepared and ready and can be an effective steward and good manager of what is released to you. Now, I want to say this. Everybody's not listening. Everybody's not developing their spiritual ear so that they can hear and receive the instructions. You got some people that's just going on and not paying attention. And those of us who are, we're going to have to help others. This is what it's all about. We're going to have to be ready and willing to help. So I want to encourage you to allow yourself to be positioned, allow yourself to be groomed, allow yourself to get what you need to. God has a great plan. Something great is on the horizon. But what the greatness that's on the horizon, some hard things are going to be coming in the midst of that. And God has a plan to carry out. And I want you to make sure that you are in the right position, that you are in the right place to be in the forefront of that plan. You don't want to be the person that's going to have to have somebody pull you, but you want to be in a place of leadership and position, and in a place where you can be trusted with the resources. I mentioned character. We need some people with integrity. Need some people who with good morals and good standards, and who love people and who care about people. That is not so prevalent, and I do believe that there are more good people in the world that are than bad people. But then there is a lot of evil in the world. And let me tell you something. Teach your children. Train your children. Give this information to your children. Sit down and talk to your children. Educate your children. And I'm not just talking about in school, but educate your children to be able to have a spiritual ear, and to be able to be aware and pay attention to what's going on, because something is coming on the horizon, and we're going to have to be positioned, and we're going to have to be ready. And the positioning needs to be taking place right now. It needs to be taking place right now. And that's why I was so felt so led to talk about this, positioned for purpose, because something is coming on the horizon and we have to be prepared. We're going to have to be positioned to be able to carry out the plan, and to be able to make sure that things that people needs are being met. And I'm gonna tell you something. I believe in the kingdom, God's way of doing things. And those of us who believe in God's way of doing things, we need to be open and be ready to receive. And that's what the prophet was telling the people. He says, now I want you, he says, you've been down for a long time. You've been down for a long time. You've been in a bad situation, but I got some good news for you. You're getting ready to sing again. You're getting ready to have some joy again. And I want you to prepare yourself. He told him, he said, build houses. I want you to build houses, add additions on to your house, make room for bigger, make room for greater. Because you're getting ready to spring forth. You're getting to burst at the seams. You're going to be bursting on the left and the right. It's going to be coming in so much abundance. But you got to be prepared. You got to get ready for it, so that you got to position yourself for it. Because there's a reason it's going to be released to you. There's a reason it's going to be released to you, because you're going to be in the right position. You're going to be prepared, and you're going to be ready to receive it. And then when you get it, distribute it in the right way and distribute it to the right places. So you also going to have some wisdom, some knowledge, and some understanding. Let me tell you something about money. Money is a tool. Money is not for you to just spend. Money is a tool. And those who know how to use it, and those who know how to multiply it, ask God to teach you how to multiply it, because there's going to come a time that it's going to be needed. I think about Joseph. When the famine came, Joseph had the plan, and everybody had to come from everywhere and buy food from Egypt, because he had a plan. But he was groomed for several years, 13 years. He was groomed. He was groomed to be in that position. And he didn't go through school. He went through a pit, and he went through prison. He went through being lied on. He went through being cheated. He was mistreated. But all of those things groomed his character and prepared him for the position of leadership. This is what it's all about. The positioning for purpose. This is what it's all about. It's all about his plan and what it is he wants to do. And I'm here to tell you that there's some great things getting ready to take place in the earth. Some great things. Some of them are good and some of them are bad. But those of us who allow ourselves to be positioned in the right place at the right time, and have the right mindset and character to receive the resources and the blessings of God, we're going to be able to be a blessing to a lot of people. And so this positioning takes place not just in your finances, but in your mind and your thoughts, in the way you think, in what you believe, in the way you carry yourself, in your morals and your character and your ethics. You have to be positioned in all of these areas in your relationships. You have to let him put you in the right place, put you in the right place at the right time, with the right people and with the right resources. So I thank you all for listening, and I want you to be encouraged. I want you to think about that position for purpose. And even some of us now, where we are now, we don't know why. If he blessed you to be in a place, you're in a position of authority, you're in a position of leadership. I don't care if it's a manager or CEO of a company or a corporation. You got people that you're responsible for. He positioned you there for a reason. If he made you the CEO of an organization, he positioned you there for a reason. You have people that you're responsible for and people that you have to help. If he made you a wife, if he gave you a family, family, he made you a husband, if he made you the pastor of a church, you have the responsibility. And let me tell you something, pastors, you have a responsibility to teach and train your people, not just about the spiritual things, but all things. Church is so important. It is to teach people how to live spiritually, how to live and help and serve their communities, and to educate them personally. And so it's a great responsibility, and that encompasses all areas, all areas. And so we have to be ready to go into these communities and build up these communities, teach people, train them, take the kingdom way into these communities. Wherever you are, if you are a political leader, you're there for a reason. I don't believe in this saying that Christians should stay out of politics. That's where you need to be, because we need some people there with integrity. We need some people to be positioned in these places. We need some people of integrity to be mayors, to be senators, to be supervisors of districts. We need these people in we need believers in these places like this, so that they can be help people. I think about Joseph. When the famine came, Joseph had the plan, and everybody had to come from everywhere and buy food from Egypt, because he had a plan. But he was groomed for several years, 13 years. He was groomed. He was groomed to be in that position. And he didn't go through school. He went through a pit, and he went through prison. He went through being lied on. He went through being cheated. He was mistreated. But all of those things groomed his character and prepared him for the position of leadership. Era said money answers all things, and it does, and that is true. It is the solution to a lot of things, and we have to have the right mindset, and we have to have the right kind of character to use it. And he's going to release it and transfer it to those who are prepared and who has the right perspective and know how to use money. So this is what it's all about. The positioning for purpose. This is what it's all about. It's all about his plan and what it is he wants to do. And I'm here to tell you that there's some great things getting ready to take place in the earth. Some great things. Some of them are good and some of them are bad. But those of us who allow ourselves to be positioned in the right place at the right time and have the right mindset and character to receive the resources and the blessings of God, we're going to be able to be a blessing to a lot of people. And so this positioning takes place not just in your finances, but in your mind and your thoughts, in the way you think, in what you believe, in the way you carry yourself, in your morals and your character and your ethics. You have to be positioned in all of these areas in your relationships. You have to let him put you in the right place, put you in the right place at the right time with the right people and with the right resources. So I thank you all for listening, and I want you to be encouraged. I want you to think about that position for purpose. And even some of us now, where we are now, we don't know why. If he blessed you to be in a place, you're in a position of authority, you're in a position of leadership. I don't care if it's a manager or CEO of a company or a corporation. You got people that you're responsible for. He positioned you there for a reason. If he made you the CEO of an organization, he positioned you there for a reason. You have people that you're responsible for and people that you have to help. If he made you a wife, if he gave you a family, he made you a husband, if he made you the pastor of a church, you have the responsibility. And let me tell you something, pastors, you have a responsibility to teach and train your people, not just about the spiritual things, but all things. Church is so important. It is to teach people how to live spiritually, how to live and help and serve their communities, and to educate them personally. And so it's a great responsibility, and that encompasses all areas. All areas. And so we have to be ready to go into these communities and build up these communities, teach people, train them, take the kingdom way into these communities. Wherever you are, if you are a political leader, you're there for a reason. I don't believe in this saying that Christians should stay out of politics. That's where you need to be, because we need some people there with integrity. We need some people to be positioned in these places. We need some people of integrity to be mayors, to be senators, to be supervisors of districts. We need these people in we need believers in these places uh, like this, so that they can be help people. That's right, Valerie. Right place, right time. You got to be. And I'm telling you this, don't be concerned about whether you're too young or too old, or what your age, or how you look, what your color is. That doesn't matter, because when you're chosen for that purpose, can't nobody take it from you. Can't nobody stop you. It's important what you believe. You have to believe it, and you have to know it. You not have to know who you believe, know who you are, and know that you were created for this purpose. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. So I want to encourage you to get in position, stay in position. And I'm telling you, just because you encounter some challenges, and just because someone, people may come against you or talk about you, say negative things about you, that's one indication. That's one indication that you might be in the right place. So don't worry about that. You stay connected and you stay focused. You stay in your place where you're supposed to serve, because that's what you were created for. And can't nobody take it from you. Don't believe that lie. Can't nobody take it for you. If God gave it to you, that's what you're supposed to have and where you're supposed to be. So I want to just encourage you all to stay in your place. And if you're not in place, let him put you in place. Let him get you in place. And when you get in place, when you're positioned, when he put you where he wants you to be and where you're supposed to be, serve well. Serve well. Do it to the best of your ability. Be effective. Change lives. Be a change agent. Change lives. Let people know that hey, the right person is here. The right person is here. And if you submit yourself and allow him to lead you, allow God to lead you, he's going to show. He's going to show himself strong in your life. Just like he told those Israelites. He said, I'm going to spread you. You're going to break out. You're going to spread out on the left and the right. He said, I'm going to make you windows of a gate. I'm going to build you up. You're going to be glorious. You're going to be beautiful. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. He said, the weapons may come, but they're not going to prosper. And they're not sent by me. They're not going to prosper. But because you belong to me, because I placed you there, because I anointed you, I gave you the ability to do it. I groomed you and created you to be there. He said, every person that lied against you, every person that said a negative thing against you, you're going to condemn, because I'm the one who created you, made you righteous, and placed you there. So you don't have to worry about it. Just do what you are supposed to do. Wherever you're placed, wherever you're positioned, you do your work to the best of your ability. You do your work with the power and the ability that God has given you, and you watch and see how it's going to work in your life. You watch and see how many people that you're going to help and bless. And you never know. If you're a school teacher, be the best school teacher you can be, because one of your students may be the president one day. One of your students may travel all over the world helping others. So you never know what it is, what seeds you're planting, and who you're grooming. And really, that's one thing it's about too. It's about mentoring. It's about teaching and educating others and bringing other people up to where they're supposed to be, and being able to hand off the torch so that person can continue. So wherever you are positioned, you're positioned there for a purpose. And I want to encourage you to do to the best of your ability, being a good steward, an effective steward, a great steward over the gifts and the people and the things that have been entrusted to you.